start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, yeah, call.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know student showcase. So tonight we have, this is Julie Benton, our teacher, with a number of students to share their vocabulary artwork.
So we have some fifth graders with us today. They're going to hold up their picture for you so you can get a glimpse. And they're going to tell you a little bit about maybe why they chose that word and how they went about doing their project. Sadie, would you come on up first?
Hi, my name is Sadie. During art class, each person chose a vocabulary word provided by our classroom teachers. We wrote out our word and added illustrations that described that word. I did the word producer because I am very fond of nature.
My name's Faith, and I picked habitat because there's many different habitats for different things. My favorite thing about this drawing is the bee because it shows a living thing in its habitat.
Hi, my name is Carson, and I chose the word invention.
Hi, my name is Ella. I chose the word invention because I want to be a scientist at NASA when I grow up. The person on the front is a prototype of an invention I thought of, the sticky shoes. They let you walk on walls.
Hi, my name is Lucas. I chose the word habitat because I like to play outside and see the different habitats and lifestyles and water.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth. I chose the word bird because I knew I'd come up with creations that could include something useful. My favorite letter was B because I could make two different creations out on it was birds. Hi, my name is Matthew, and I chose the word vibrant because I like vibrant colors and many things that I own are vibrant. Hi, my name is Ollie, and I chose the word ecosystem because there are so many different types of ecosystems and many amazing animals that live in them.
Thank you. Good job. Thank you. Different classes. Same art. There's actually classes for fifth grade that do a lot of mathematical. So it's posted in the hall. It's just a great way to reinforce it, help them remember, visualize it. Thank you.
Great, so approval of the minutes from our March 6th meeting, regular session, and so moved.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions?
You got the latest report in your packet. We're in really good shape, hopefully coming out of the colder weather and everything settling in. I think we're looking like we should have no problem doing kind of typical year-end things. We will top off the oil tank. We'll get copy paper bid usually doesn't come out until June, but we should be able to get copy paper prepared and kind of get a good startup groundwork on the new year, but no new concerns. Couple months to go.
Communications, we have the letter confirming the Sturbridge Educational Support Personnel Associate.
Yeah, regard their request to enter into negotiations, so this is just a response to that.
So as always, very busy here at Burgess. Enrollment is stable at 893. The end of March was extremely busy with parent-teacher conferences, the annual Scholastic Fair and basket raffle, which was hosted by the PTO. Great effort there. Report cards went out on the 22nd. I want to just extend my congratulations to the All-Region Band and Chorus on their outstanding recent performances, as well as congratulations to Julie Vinton and in orchestrating the art fair, which included many beautiful pieces of art created by our 6th grade students. Kindergarten screenings are scheduled for April 10th and May 1st. We are looking at right now of 1,000 firm registrations at this point.
1,000?
I mean 1,000. I'm sorry, thank you.
Good
100.
Lord.
I was like, what? I thought
That sounded like my
Where's
face
the
was
phone?
down. Sorry,
Like, what?
100, which is a little bit higher, about 10% higher than it was last year. Sorry about that. I'm on MCAS right now.
And then May 1st.
And May 1st, yeah, thank you. And the kindergarten open house will be held on May 31st. And I do have MCAS brain right now. We have gone through 3 days of testing. Grades 5 and 6 have completed the ELA section, and grades 3 and 4 have done session 1. Attendance has been outstanding. Definitely want to thank parents for that and the kids. Things seem to be going really well, and just a public shout out to Greg Rosso, who is our IT director for the district and has just been managing everything behind the scenes very well. So any issues that we have that arise, he's a phone call away, and he and his team have just been extremely helpful in resolving any issues. Professional development, we had an early release last Thursday focusing on executive functioning, which is an extension of our January Professional Development Day, as well as grade and department level meetings. Grade 6 social studies teachers worked with Jody Barassa and the junior high teachers on social studies alignment with the new frameworks, and we have some teachers who are very close to Google certification. I'll let you go through the updates. Lots of great things happening in the classrooms. Lots of STEM activities going on. Grade 4 has recently returned from the Norcross field trips, which are always very beneficial in helping to extend the learning beyond the classroom. Grade 5 is working on finishing up their Revolutionary War unit, which will result in their field trips to Boston next week. Health office, lots going on. The hands-only CPR training for 6th grade has been completed. We are doing continued work on the volunteer intergenerational program. We now have 6 seniors who are coming in. It's beautiful. It's great to watch the interactions. Service. Things that did not make my report. Project Lead the Way continues. We've got 3 teachers that are registered with WPI trainings in the summer. Erin Parker, Nadine Kevel, and Beth Clark. So they'll be actually preparing units for next year. We went to West Brookfield and observed a teacher who's been doing it. This is his 3rd year, I believe. He's actually coming to Burgess tomorrow to sort of meet with the teachers, see what our schedule constraints might be, and to give us some input. So we're very grateful to West Brookfield for sharing Mr. Frank with us. Relay for Life last Friday night was just incredibly inspiring. We had over 30 Burgess staff and families participate. We were called the Burgess Brave. We, at the time, I believe this is still consistent, we were the top team at $6,400 in donations, and we had the top 2 participants, Lisa Conley and Krista Starr, who led the way as far as support. as far as fundraising. We were there in support of 2 students that we currently have in remission. 1 student that is currently receiving treatment at Boston Children's Hospital, a relative of a staff member who's receiving treatment at Boston Children's Hospital, and 2 surviving staff members. We actually had a staff member return on Monday who's been out for quite some time receiving treatment. So it was definitely a year of just really being supportive, and just thank you to Lisa Munier for really spearheading it and organizing it. Another thing is we have a parenting night coming up on April 10th. Rita Shiano will be back to Burgess, and we've invited the other, or Betsy Philpott has been leading this initiative, and we will be inviting other Union 61 families to attend. She'll give some great parenting tips.
Who are the teachers that have applied or that the seniors are mastering?
All different ones. So actually what happens is the teachers will put in a request, and then we sit back and we match the seniors with where we, what they identify as some of their areas of interest, what the teachers are identifying as some areas of need.
Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you. Superintendent's report.
Okay, thanks. Just the first item, negotiations update, and this was on the agenda, and then we did receive a letter, so just a reminder that we're negotiating with the ESP unit here at Burgess. I think time-wise, it's going to be probably our last, or one of the last. Yeah, maybe our last one of the 9 that we're doing 9 this year, so it's a really big year. So, but we do have an executive session to go into before the conclusion of the meeting, so I'll give you a little more info, but that is coming. And a reminder that Kate and Kristen are the subcommittee members for negotiations. Oh, sorry.
No, I was trying to, I'm like, I think
Yes, that's right. Next month, we will be having what is our typical first agenda item for the May meeting, and that's to have a public hearing. We will regarding school choice. A reminder, statute requires you to have a public hearing if you're not going to participate, just to give folks their opinions that might sort of sway you one way or the other. So that'll be our first agenda item next month. Day on the Hill, I know you've all received MASC bulletins and Day on the Hill information. If you're interested in signing up, you can let us know, and we're happy to do that. And there are funds to support that.
Is there going to be the department? Is the food
back? Yes, culinary.
Wasn't it off last year? There was no.
They've had those renovations to the Gardner Auditorium. They're still going to hold the program in Mason Lodge, I think, down the hill, but the kids are back. The culinary students aren't serving much, so yes. But there's no more travel time now. I don't know why they're not putting it back in the State House. But yes, we're excited for that. Let me know. Just also a reminder, while I know it's 2 months out with vacation next week, we're coming back, it's May, it's just going to rapidly move here, but the June school committee meeting, we'll be voting next month. That will also be on the agenda for permission to move that prior to the town meeting, should we have any budget situations that we want to address prior to the town meeting. And right now, that date would be Monday, June 3rd. That is the town meeting date. So again, we'll have a little more info next month, but if you're penciling in your calendar dates. Also, as Kathy said, I want to thank a bunch of people, everyone's help and assistance on MCAS. It's a great deal of coordination. This is the first year that every grade in our district, K through 12, that is testing is doing online. High school, first time that they're fully online. So it's a great deal to, as Kathy said, 600, 700 children at a time, all different levels. As we said before, we lost power today at the middle school for a little bit, but it was not, had no impact to testing, which was, we kept on testing, which was great news. There were only a handful of children left. And also the all nights and all chorus and band events, all arts and all region chorus and band events, truly just amazing. The work that our staff does to prepare the students, and it's just a great night. The chorus was so awesome. Last night was always a great time. Appreciate all the staff's work on that. The joint meeting between Tantasco Regional and Union 61 is being planned for June 4th.
We're actually looking, don't have 100% commitment, but if you can pencil that one in as well. With school ending, fingers crossed, on Thursday, June, I think 12th or 11th, we're concerned that...
13th, Friday the 13th.
Sorry.
Friday.
Thursday.
Thursday the
Thursday is.
Thursday the 13th.
And anything could happen. I had to get up at 4, was it yesterday? That
Yeah.
they did take a snow or something, so I was so panicked. I was so afraid I'd wake up and there'd be a foot of snow.
Right?
So we're a little concerned what happens is once we get into summer mode, trying to get folks who have plans for the summer. So the Tantascwa School Committee is looking to move up their June meeting. The 4th was truly the only day in those first 2 weeks of June that there wasn't another town meeting, school committee meeting, or another event. So likely that will be the joint meeting at 6 o'clock, but we'll be posted again on that. And then this is Scott's last meeting, so.
Yeah. I'd like to thank you for your dedication and support for all these years. Thank you.
I want to say a few words, Scott, but no, we always appreciate it.
He was hoping he was going to have his first public access
Without
tonight.
school committee.
Yeah,
so
I haven't had a
appreciate
public
your time.
access in 3 years. There hasn't been a single public access. It's amazing.
Karen could change that tonight.
She could.
Come on, Karen.
Go for
The
it.
pressure, I mean, you know,
Scott
you're
will be
replacing
sitting in
him.
the
You
public
really-
next month and start. How
Yes.
Oh, that's right, you were the kids.
As his predecessor, I think she
Came and
should.
talked about lunch.
Oh, yes,
you
you're
did?
right.
You
Okay.
You thought it was a
I didn't even
remember
remember
my
that.
idea coming.
Sorry.
It was working.
Thank you very much, Scott. We know it's a lot of time. It's people, you're all so busy. We can't do our jobs without support of the school committee, so thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Do we know if anybody pulled papers?
Karen.
Oh!
We haven't even voted on it yet. I'm like, your
No, it's
predecessor.
Monday. It's
Yes, I know.
Monday or Tuesday, right? The election.
Election.
Yeah, it's Monday.
It's
Monday.
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 Monday's election day.
Yeah. Karen, we should put some
Barring
in front of
any
our house.
write-ins.
Right.
Right.
Write-in campaign.
Scott wants back in.
Yeah.
The writing campaign.
Yeah,
So
that's, you can just give me that.
That's it. Thank you, everybody.
Public access number 1. The second one.
You should, see.
I have something, and I don't know if it's actually an old business or, you know, but I'll ask it during public access. The 6th grade Prairie Beach social, when will that be determined? And when will it be, because I know we presented on it last meeting.
Yeah. Well, we have to reconvene the chairs to get together, and given the fact that we know Prairie Beach is moving inland and that's not an option, and that any event would be a spring event, there's some additional time. We're not feeling pressure to have that meeting before June to figure that out. Primarily, honestly, time for us is just really crazy.
But all the other committees are kind of feeling on the same page that, you know, they're good not doing anything in the fall, they're good sort of letting go of this 2-night, no desire to go down to Charlton for 2 nights, and really like
That
this
social element.
this, you know, springtime, 6th grade something night, whether it's just a midnight or all-nighter.
What happened to the Museum of Science? Is the
Well,
Rail Watch thing or whatever?
that's something that each
option.
individual school could also choose to do, because the others are likely going to jump into a Project O type thing. They're all very interested in Project O. They've not been doing Project O.
But the school could go, besides
Yeah.
that, where they could go as one, where
Yeah, right.
each goes as a class.
Right,
Like, it's
yeah,
not
exactly.
one group.
But, well, you folks already do, so that's things that they're talking about, whether it be individual or couple or whether it's school, that they're probably going to be doing a Project O type thing and the social event. Burgess itself can decide if they want to
An
add
whole
more
additional
to it.
third event,
Right.
something like that.
So when would communication go out to parents?
Once we make a decision, and again, we have to meet with the chairs and pull people together to say, is the one
large group event across all of Union 61, the social event. Because even a Project-O or the aquarium wasn't for everybody. The only place that could take all of us for an overnight was the Museum of Science, and that's still an option. We've confirmed there are plenty of dates into the spring, so that we didn't need to decide right now. Some people still kind of wanted to weigh out their options because the other schools are new to doing Project-O, that is funding that, they would use what they're fundraising for now, you guys do additional funding.
So I guess, parents of fifth graders won't know that Ferry Beach isn't happening until after their kids out of school, and then basically.
Well, I think they should be told that Ferry
Yeah,
Beach
yeah,
isn't happening.
Okay, so we haven't officially notified, but I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we told Ferry Beach.
Yeah, well, just, that there, or, and also that there's no overnight.
They've sent us the draft
Yeah, no
expensive
two-night.
contract, and we said.
Or, I don't know, I mean.
I think we need it just that that's not the option. It wouldn't have been in the fall, we're looking at spring
Spring
events.
events.
So I will send you communication out to
Yeah.
current administrative parents.
And we have the option of discussing that as the school committee.
Oh, you guys
Other
are,
options.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Mary, or any other public applicants or anything? Mary?
I missed my first Tantasco meeting.
Oh, man, that's right.
I walked in when everybody was standing up to the meeting. I tried. It was
Well,
the basketball banquet. so-
Yeah, it was the night of the public hearing, so it was primarily about budget. Public hearing first, and then went into regular session and voted on the budget. Gosh, I don't even
Some
recall what else was on
policies.
the agenda.
Additional.
Some of
Probably
which-
the
some of
same,
which are
yeah.
Here, right, the policies are all kind of sliding down. In fact, they probably approved on second reading what is here for new business on first. So they've been pushing through the policies, and that would be acceptable.
We did, I think that was the meeting we talked about the MSBA project that we have just submitted the articles, and that we are continuing to plug away. And we're on pretty much a regular cycle, every 2 to 3 weeks, meeting with the architect and the PMs of the project for the junior high.
So old business.
Okay, the old business is everything that we adopted on first reading last month. I have heard no questions or concerns, so if it is good with all of you, we're looking for a recommendation to adopt to approve on second reading and adoption ACA, ACAB, yeah, see, I'm trying to actually word it so that we're approving and adopting the ones that we're actually doing, and then rescinding
Gotcha, whole different.
the ones we're rescinding. So the ones that we're truly changing and adopting on second reading is ACA, ACAB, and GBGF, which I can only say slowly. And then second reading to rescind ACAA, ACABA,
No, ACAB.
ACABA.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. No, ACAB.
CL1,
Yep.
and GCCCE. Karen will get all that.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Okay, and then you have a few new ones?
I have actually another old business.
Okay.
It's just not on the agenda.
Yeah.
Good. I wanted to ask a question, it's just so timely because of course report cards come out, and I want to know where we are at with the standards-based report card review for 5th and 6th grade. I continue to hear from our constituents how displeased they are with the older grades of 5 and 6 in particular, with what the information that's provided is on the standards-based report cards. I know we brought it up, but I don't remember exactly when. I want to say it was like a year ago. So I'm just kind of wondering where, and I felt like it should go under old business because it is old business. I'm just wondering if we've evaluated, because I know there was a survey at some point and maybe Mary got it, but I just wondered if we had any, we never thought, there's nothing that brought it back together. So I wanted to put it back out there as something that I'm hearing an awful lot of about, you know, and then I hear it from the teachers now that I have kids in the junior high and high school. I hear it from the teachers that they're, you know, they get frustrated with standards-based coming out of the elementary school in those grades because the kids come into 7th and 8th grade, and even in the high school, not understanding that a 78 is not a B minus, or that they're, you know, a little bit more effort, or those kinds of things. And I had teachers that said that they, you know, that they get frustrated with the kids not understanding what the grades are. So I'm wondering where it's at with the, when we originally talked about it, I think it was like about a year ago or so.
Did you have a survey?
We did do a survey with the teachers, yeah, and we surveyed parents. We didn't have a ton of feedback from the parents, I recall correctly.
I think we had a decent amount. I have it still, actually. But
Is it specifically about, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Is it about the numbers versus letters? Or
It was
Yeah,
the School
it's
Improvement Council that we worked with the School Improvement Council to come up with a survey.
Yeah, just that they
to
come
survey
out
parents.
not, at 5th and 6th grade, they're not prepared for the junior high, understanding, it's like a different philosophy of, you have your, you know, here you have, and everybody's different here, but there's,
Meet standards.
you meet the standard, you can continue to go on and you can, you know, your kid can be reading at a whatever, but you meet the standard. And then
So
you
you're
get to
still
the
a grade.
junior high
Yeah.
and you have a chance to make honor roll, but you don't understand that a little bit of effort takes you from, because everything here is a 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3,
Right.
or maybe a 4 or a couple of 2s. So especially in those age groups, I mean, I hear about it over and over again. So it's like, and I have to say I 100% agree, because I look at, I don't even look at it any, I mean, I would like to say about printing.
We'll bring the results, we'll share the results of the survey with you, we'll make sure that we have a summary of that.
At
I
the
don't know
committee-
that
at
it's
the-
totally
I mean, I want-
conclusive, if you remember, Mary, it was, we brought it to our School Improvement Council, and I think that that's where we,
I think we talked in general
Yeah.
about trying to enhance the habits of mind or effort or use kind of the language that the middle school uses to get kids ready, because no teacher at the junior high, I can tell you, a 78 in one room is not a 78 in the other. So I'm sure that teachers say that kids might not understand, but teachers assess and value, if you will, what their work product is very differently. Homework, effort.
That's not at all what I'm saying, though.
Yep.
I'm definitely saying that that is a great tool. Standards-based report cards are phenomenal if you're an educator. I'm like the end user or the customer in my private sector world, and it doesn't tell you where your kids' strengths and weaknesses are. So I feel like I sound like a broken record. It doesn't tell you where you are. And when you get into the next level where everybody doesn't get a trophy and everybody doesn't get to go to the honors breakfast or whatever, the kids don't understand the change from that to the next. And I believe that we had talked about possibly enhancing in just the 5th and 6th grade with some type of a hybrid with an A, a B, a C, that they can understand, you know, in both directions. If I get a lousy grade on this project, I might only get a 70 whatever, or I might, a little extra effort can get me here. And there's not that connectivity to the next level. So I don't think habits of mind are any of it. I think the habits of mind that are on there are great, but the standards-based report cards are, it's like if you're a doctor reading a lab, it's not, it's for, I mean, it doesn't really, it doesn't help to a parent that looks at it and there's 3 pages of standards and it's like, and all you get are 3s and you're just like, okay, no strengths, no weaknesses, on we go to the next grade. And so, you know, it's the same thing that I know I've said it before,
I know we
but I
talked
don't
about
feel like
that.
we've made, that we've like done anything to, and I hear about it from people, which is our job to bring it, you know, bring it forward, so.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out where the breakdown was on.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And I want to say that when we talked about it the last time, and I want to say it was like last year, it was, well, the other towns don't, we've worked to make it, and I just, as a parent of a Sturbridge, I'm on the Sturbridge School Committee of the Burgess, I care about what we do. We're a different building, and I don't know, I feel like the kids are going in there and they're not understanding that they can differentiate their performance. That's all.
Yep, no, we'll talk to the principals about way. We did, we talked about a way, especially sixth grade, trying to get them to understand how
Well,
to around
and I think that
transitional
this
language.
conversation, and it's probably been since before Kathy, I mean, I don't know, well, Paige was here. I remember she's worked her butt off for a project for a whole week and a half, 2 weeks. They made uniforms to do this planet, whatever, I think it was sixth grade. If it's planets, is that sixth grade? Maybe it was fifth grade, but I want to say, and it just didn't matter because it did nothing to affect the outcome of anything on your report card because you just still met the standard. It wasn't like, oh, good, you got a check plus on your project. Like, and that's a big deal. You win a science fair with that at the high school, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that was the old business I had.
Well, even with that, I think though,
Any
the accountability, but Jupiter grades, I know my kid loves having that now in 7th grade because he can see how he does. I mean, he's very driven, I guess. But you know, where he kind of last one was like, I can't believe I have an A- with a 93.4. Like, why can't you just give me to the 94? But like knowing kind of he can look at his grades and be like, oh, if I did, you know, I got a 88 on this. That's what brought me down. So like he looks at those and knows where he's going. So even if it was something like I know it's a lot of work and not all the teachers do it at the junior high, but
It's awesome.
But it's most of them do. But having that as where you could see your grades, maybe if you're going to continue with the standardized report cards, but to have some sort of like other mechanism for kids and parents to see like that they are doing it and not just check standards.
We'll put it on the leadership, which is Thursday.
Any other, is that all?
That's all I have for old business.
I have an update on the handwriting, the cursive handwriting. We are going to be doing that with Mrs. Howe's class. I spoke with the senior center activity director. And so we're probably going to do it probably after the vacation, and just like the framework of it will be her class will initiate a letter, not to anyone specific, so we're not assigning pen pals at this point, but just write a letter introducing yourself, give a few fun facts, whatever you like, favorite foods, kind of stuff. And then we'll collect the letters. They'll get distributed at the senior center with a group of volunteers who have agreed to do this, and they'll respond with letters, and then we'll do one more back to the senior. Now at this point you'll have a name and you can go a little deeper on your intro, and they'll reply one more time, so it's probably just 2 letters each, and then we'll have the face-to-face reveal probably right before the end of school.
Oh, great.
So they can arrange for transportation for them to come here to the school to meet the class, so yeah.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so we'll alert the press for that. That's great.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, great community thing to do. Yeah. So that was, I did my homework.
Good job.
Yeah. Anyone else? I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Anything else?
Great. On to new business.
Okay, couple more policies. I really should make Mary do these. She's on the subcommittee that goes through them all. We're picking away at them. I'll just explain all 4, and you can choose whether to accept on first reading as the batch. The easy one right at the end there, Corey, is just one. This is an old policy that we really should have rescinded when we adopted the updated background check one when the fingerprints came, which includes Corey. And so it's really just rescinding the policy that back in the day when Corey was the only thing we were dealing with for background checks.
For staff, not for volunteers.
Correct. Well, it includes the potential for volunteers. The other one includes everything, fingerprint, the rules versus the options. And then the other 3 are just the school improvement. The first 2 are really just tweaks and updates based on the law way back when school committee actually approved the school improvement plan. Now it's presented and you review it. It's more of a presented, but it's the superintendent that must approve it. And both of these are just dealing with those little legal reference changes and clarifying the dates, that there were some old inaccurate dates in there. And the last one is updating what used to be just smoking on school premises, and unfortunately now adding in any nicotine delivery product with our favorite obstacle this year being the vaping, the little vaping. So this includes that as unacceptable to use on school grounds. All right.
I'll make a motion to amend on first reading BDFA-E-1, BDFA-E-2, and ADC.
And to rescind on first reading.
The third one is a
It's a rescind. Well, so it's still, we have to go through 2 readings to rescind
Oh,
it.
you did it together on the first one.
So,
didn't you? I was going to make a second motion.
That's
for
either
that.
way.
Okay, and to rescind upon first reading the ADDA-E.
Second. All in favor?
Thank you. That's it. For me.
Public access number 2.
I do have one other item that I just left off my report. We did receive April 1st the preliminary charter enrollment. That's a requirement of statute. So right now, there are 2 kindergarten children who are in addition to the 11 last year who are being listed as pre-enrolled for Old Sturbridge Academy.
And is that for this year or for next year?
For next year, the K.
So 2 more next year.
We get them for all grades that are there, but none of the other grades. Everyone is moving up. There's been no changes. We had 11 at January 1st, and those 11 children are maintaining their enrollment as far as what we can tell, with 2 new kindergartners.
I had heard that they are approved through 12th now. Somebody that has a child that goes there from a totally different town that I just happen to know.
We haven't
said,
been
oh, we've been
notified.
told that we are good to go through 12th grade. I was like, really?
They would have to go through the process
Yeah,
of the Department of Ed.
their initial charter package was always just through 8.
That's what I
So
thought.
that would be an entire new
Yeah.
process
This was a
that
pretty,
we haven't gotten wind of.
like a parent that was pretty, with it. It's like, oh no, we've been told that we're good through high school. I was like, really? I didn't know that to be that. I thought they added a grade to stay with that inaugural class until
they
you're
did.
in 8th grade,
Yeah.
and then that's that.
Right.
So.
They could certainly be talking about it, but because the school is housed in this district, there's a whole lot. I mean, we were notified of everything through the whole process.
And you haven't been.
But they are up to 5th grade. That those are not.
Next year.
Next year will be grade 5 at the highest grade.
Yeah.
Yep. So just wanted to give you those numbers. I apologize.
That's fine. So, we need to go to executive session.
Public access? No.
Oh, for the purpose negotiations, oh, sorry. Sorry, so for the,
Is it just the subcommittee?
No, that's it.
so for the purpose of negotiating.
It's a roll call.
Roll call, Megan, Panic, yes.
Alexander, yes.
Melissa, yes.
Parker, yes.
Judy, yes.
Would we think of it adjourning
From executive.
from executive session?
Sorry.
No problem. All right, so it is now.
Okay.
Thank you.